Good evening. I'm Hope Carter, Vice President for Institutional Advancement, and I'm happy to welcome you to this virtual Founders Day event. While we are missing gathering with you in person this year, we are thankful that technology allows us to get together virtually. This event is our time to celebrate your individual and collective generosity to Millsaps. Your contributions of time, talent, and resources create the opportunities and provide the tools that students and faculty utilize to stretch themselves and produce world-class citizen scholars. So tonight, we recognize and celebrate our Founder Society members who have given $1 million or more to Millsaps. Your vision, your financial support, and your names are forever linked to our founders' vision of providing scholastic opportunities to any student qualified to succeed at Millsaps and to all that Millsaps stands for. We also recognize our Heritage Society, which is comprised of donors who have made a planned gift to the college. Your gifts benefit the college and its students far beyond the year in which they are given. Much appreciation is also given to individuals who have established endowed funds at Millsaps to support student scholarships, academic programs, and provide critical support year after year. Thank you for your investment in Millsaps and all that these endowments make possible for our students. And now I'm happy to turn to Millsaps President Rob Perigin for comments.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. Gratitude has been described as the affirmation of goodness with the power to heal, energize, and change lives. Tonight, I come to you with an overwhelming sense of gratitude, affirming that, in the midst of the challenges of the times, good things are happening at Millsaps. Indeed, goodness abounds, and we have very much to be grateful for. In reflecting on the 131st anniversary of Millsaps' founding, I've been thinking about where this goodness, with its healing, energizing, and life-changing power comes from. We know that it's rooted in our history, certainly in the vision of Reuben Webster Millsaps and his desire, inscribed in the words of our Charter of Incorporation, to, quote, bring a collegiate education within the reach and ability of the poorer classes of the state. We know it's also embedded in the dedication and perseverance of co-founders, Bishops Charles Betts Galloway and William Benin Murrah, who brought their experience as church and educational leaders to bear on the forming of this extraordinary institution. We see it in the legacies of faculty, staff, and administrators through the years who dedicated their lives to building a premier, nationally renowned institution, never faltering from a steadfast commitment to academic excellence grounded in the liberal arts. We see it in our affiliation with the United Methodist Church that values spiritual and intellectual growth as well as a commitment to serving one's community. We see it in our community partners today who work with us to provide unique out-of-classroom experiences, learning and growing experiences for our students. And of course, we see it in the countless alumni, parents, and friends who have sustained the college with gifts of time, talent, and treasure to ensure that generations of students are transformed by their Millsaps education and graduate prepared to use their knowledge and skills for good in the world. I'm particularly grateful tonight for the donors and leaders we honor this evening. You are the people who give the college strength and energy to carry on the legacy of Millsaps, even in the face of profound challenge. You inspire us with your gifts and your own Millsaps experiences. You make it possible for us to grow and flourish. And you help set the course for our future and that of our students. So thank you. It's my privilege to serve as president of Millsaps because the college not only makes a difference in the lives of our students, it also makes a difference in our community, our state, in our world. Millsaps students don't just attend here. They find a place to belong. They find faculty who are mentors as well as teachers. They find a place where they can learn, be challenged, make lifelong friendships, and discover how to be the best, most successful selves. They leave prepared as leaders who can meet the challenging of this rapidly changing world and contribute civically to their communities and to make the world a better place. And now we get to hear from some of the student and alumni leaders. I'm happy to introduce you to three very impressive people whose lives have been impacted by your scholarships, endowed funds, and leadership gifts. Lacy Winfield is a senior from Memphis, Tennessee, majoring in sociology and anthropology. Lacy recently presented her honors project titled Persistent Poverty, Housing and Economic Injustice in Urban Environments, which is focused on the Orange Mound neighborhood in Memphis, a community that was originally a plantation before being purchased by freed slaves. Her research explored the question of why so many predominantly black communities experience housing and economic injustice and what can be done to revitalize them. For her work, Lacy received the Phi Beta Kappa Award for Outstanding Honors Thesis and Presentation. Colby Leary is a senior from Oxford, Mississippi, majoring in business with a concentration in finance and a minor in American Studies. Colby's leadership shines through in a number of areas around campus, but particularly as a member of the Millsaps Majors football team and president of the Catholic Student Association. He's been on the SAA Academic Honor Roll throughout his time at Millsaps and was a 2020 All-State American Football Coaches Association Good Works Team honoree. Dr. Julia Mitchell graduated from Millsaps in 2004 with a Bachelor of Science in Psychology. She received her medical degree at the University of Mississippi School of Medicine in 2008. After completing her pediatrics residency at the University of Florida College of Medicine in 2011, she practiced in Clarksdale, Mississippi, the heart of the Mississippi Delta, for 3 years. She then moved to Louisville, Kentucky, where she worked as an assistant professor of pediatrics with the University of Louisville at an outpatient clinic before joining Family Health Centers also in Louisville. Dr. Mitchell commits herself to providing care for underserved populations, children and families. After learning about the science of toxic stress in relationship to adverse childhood experiences, ACEs, she engaged in efforts to promote resilience, such as partnering with the Kentucky Center's Art and Healing program to offer art classes for families on Saturdays. She also leads a resilience ministry team at St. Paul's United Methodist Church in Louisville. Julia currently serves as a physician with the Smoketown Family Wellness Center, which builds a culture of health by providing clinical care to children in a community-based environment with a focus on healthy lifestyle behaviors for the entire family. While a student at Millsaps, Julia was elected to the Hall of Fame and was named the Millsaps College Most Distinguished Woman in 2004. She was also the recipient of the Don Fortenberry Award that year. And in 2019, Julia received the Millsaps Outstanding Young Alumna Award. So now it's my pleasure to invite Lacy, Colby, and Julia to share their Millsaps stories with you. Thank you.
Thank you for the introduction, President Perigin. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lacy Winfield. In the spirit of transparency, Millsaps is not where I thought I would spend my 4 years as an undergraduate student. My goal was to attend and graduate from the United States Air Force Academy. But after receiving my medical disqualification, I knew I had to make the best out of the hand life dealt to me. But even after my first few months at Millsaps, I still had reservations. It wasn't until I had a heart-to-heart with our former athletic director, Donnie Brooks, that I accepted the detour life was taking me on. As I reflect on my time now, that conversation represented so much of what Millsaps is. And standing before you virtually, I never would have imagined the opportunities, experiences, and relationships Millsaps curated. Opportunities such as interning directly with the Women's Foundation of Mississippi and the Mississippi Alliance of Nonprofit and Philanthropy, both not-for-profit organizations that are creating positive change for Mississippi residents. Opportunities such as being a part of the first executive board for the on-campus organization Lighthouse Black Girls Project, ex-Millsaps, an organization supported by the local nonprofit Lighthouse Black Girl Project to provide the Black women of Millsaps a safe space and life resources. Opportunities such as spending 3 weeks in Europe studying abroad and then going to the Yucatan that same year after participating in the International Perspective Program, thanks to the Arthur Vining Davis Foundation. Opportunities like meeting with the Methodist Bishop of Mississippi to brainstorm on creative ways of how to intersect spiritual growth and racial equity. Opportunities like presenting my honors thesis on persistent poverty, housing and economic injustice in an urban environment, and winning the Phi Beta Kappa Award for outstanding thesis and presentation. But Millsaps not only offered many life-altering opportunities, but was a catalyst for me to define and refine my relationship with Christ, and ultimately realize who is in control of my life and journey. I've created many meaningful relationships and mentorships with faculty and people from the Jackson community. Relationships like with the Millsaps CAF, the maintenance workers, and campus security, who are the reason why so many students have a good day. Well, not all students are happy to see campus security. Many people did not support my decision of attending Millsaps, and even more were adamant that majoring in sociology and anthropology would be the biggest mistake of my life. It was hard taking in such harsh constructive criticism that led to many nights crying about whether I'll be successful in life or making the biggest mistake of my life, all while typing an essay for Dr. Bay on bipedalism and human evolution. I would sit in my dorm alone, with no music, no television, and contemplate if I should do what everybody was telling me to do, which was drop the sewing major and go to Olin or Murrah Hall every day. But it's hard going down a path that has no path. Sure, I could have tucked my head down and gone down the path that led to economic prosperity and stability, but was that the path that God wanted me to take? I come from a middle-class Black family who had instilled in me strong values and principles, but attending Millsaps was new. We were venturing down a new path that none of us had ever ventured down before, and that was quite daunting. But my parents were confident in my abilities, but not confident in the world acknowledging my passion of wanting to promote societal change. But as the beloved writer Toni Morrison once said, if there's a book that you want to read, but it hasn't been ready yet, then you must write it. Millsaps College, especially our sewing department and my parents, taught me 4 valuable lessons. Never take no for an answer, have faith in God, you have the right to define your path in life, and the hardest but most fulfilling one, trust yourself. These 4 valuable lessons are the key pieces of advice I would give to anyone who decides to come to Millsaps. You have the ability to create your own path. Do not feel obligated to follow the path that your parents crafted for you, nor your community crafted for you. You define success. But just like everything in life, there will be highs and lows, and I encourage you to focus on what you as an individual want in life. Focus on the beautiful relationships you will craft, and focus on the fact that you've experienced something so unique that you could only find at a small liberal arts college located in Jackson, Mississippi. But I could not have had all these experiences, opportunities, and attend a vessel that allowed for me to explore and challenge myself without you all, the donors and supporters who wholeheartedly believe in the Millsaps motto and prestige. It is because of you all that students can experience powerful, life-altering moments that they won't ever forget. Without your generous gifts, so many students would not be able to recognize the prodigious talents and abilities they possess. My plans after Millsaps consist of traveling to the Yucatan for 6 weeks to conduct archaeological research with Dr. George Bay. And once I return to the States, I will start my career journey as a junior research analyst apprentice at Trigren, a hedge fund investment firm located in Boulder, Colorado, and Northbrook, Illinois. Who knew a SOAN major would end up at a hedge fund? Only a world-class Millsaps education and experience could allow for such a unique, rewarding, and thought-provoking path. As Frank Sinatra said, I did it my way, and Millsaps gave me the tools to do so. Thank you.
You know, I'm not going to lie. When I first received the schedule for this event and saw I was following Lacy, my heart sank. It'd be a tough act to follow. So again, great job, Lacy, but also thanks a lot for setting the bar so high. Thank you to everyone who's joining us for this Founders Day event in this unprecedented year. I'm happy to be here and share a bit of my Millsaps story with you. As Dr. Perigin so eloquently put it, my name's Colby Leary. I'm a senior here at Millsaps from Oxford, Mississippi. I'm one of 7 kids, and actually the only one thus far in my family, including my parents, to not attend Ole Miss in one way or another. Like a lot of people, when I first came to Millsaps, I was uncertain about what to major in, what career I wanted, which fraternity to rush, and even where to sit in the cafeteria. But over the past 4 years, I really have fallen in love with the small family community here at Millsaps, with my brothers in the fraternity and on the football team, with the evolution of my faith and the encouragement by others to be a leader and to value free thought. And of course, I love the late night fast food runs after a night out, the parties and the pre-games, snow days, and all the breaks. By coming to Millsaps, I was able to continue my passion for playing football as a member of the offensive line. I was elected to both the Team Leadership Council and voted as a team captain. In these roles, I discovered what it means to be a servant leader, to put others' needs before your own, and knowing that if you ask someone to do something, you had better be willing to do it yourself. You must hold the standard. This is what Millsaps has instilled in me over the past 4 years. During that time, inspired by my Millsaps experience, my faith has also strengthened considerably. I served as a team devotional leader, and I'm currently president of the Catholic Student Association. These opportunities have been very, very important to me. Over the years, I've also developed interpersonal relationships that now mean the world to me. Friendships for life I developed my freshman year in the dorms, classmates I've grown closer with through group projects, professors both in and outside my major, my Kappa Alpha fraternity brothers who not only helped form my values as a man, but provided me with lifelong hunting partners. And most importantly, my football athletic family that is always there for me no matter what. I'm currently enrolled in the Else School's Early Enrollment MBA program. This will allow me to complete my master's degree in a year after I graduate this spring. Following this, I hope to pursue a dynamic career in a federal law enforcement environment that allows me to use the interpersonal leadership skills I've developed at Millsaps in helping others. Academically, I can say I've definitely taken a lot of tests and written a lot of papers, and while that definitely got old at times, it taught me how to think for myself and properly articulate my opinions. Here's what I know about Millsaps. There will always be colleges that put their resources into shinier buildings and are located in fancier locations. But there's no place that matches Millsaps' soul. What matters is the people. Millsaps has meant everything to me over the past 4 years. It opened the doors to being on my own, surviving and growing without constant family care, and placed just enough pressure on me to leave better than I entered. Those who enter here must earn the right to walk across that seal. But those who make it leave fully formed, educated, and ready for life. Finally, I want to say thank you to Millsaps for guiding me this far. And thank you to everyone who made my Millsaps experience possible by assisting and providing the scholarships here, particularly the Presidential and Navy V-12 scholarships in my case. It has been my pleasure to speak with you here tonight. God bless and go Majors.
Good evening. According to Barbara McClure White, the basic purpose of a liberal arts education is to liberate the human being to exercise his or her potential to the fullest. I am grateful for Millsaps College and the people who uphold its mission to shape young minds and hearts, not with a checklist of facts for memorization, but with a depth of knowledge that may yield more questions and struggle, but at best will result in conviction and action. Indeed, Millsaps College provided me with a foundation of critical thinking skills, a quest for truth, and a resultant recognition of responsibility. Discovery of truth must lend itself to compassionate action, not complacent arrogance. A liberal arts education at Millsaps offers a holistic lens to learn connections across disciplines. Enlightenment and epiphanies at Millsaps result in substantive contributions to the community and compelling callings to address injustices. Alumni are emboldened to endeavor in paths that liberate themselves and others. A quest for authenticity in reaching an individual's fullest potential results in helping others and communities strive for their own optimal potential. I am grateful for the strong family history of support and love Millsaps. My family members are Millsaps alumni, and look at my maternal mother, Mildred Ray, parents, Slim and Alice, and brother, Jeff. In addition to my sister-in-law, April, uncles, aunts, and many, many cousins. Even with strong family ties to the college, and even as a freshman when my brother was a senior, I was always treated as an individual. Professors displayed genuine interest in my own development as a scholar and as a human. Many professors, including Dr. John Thetominal in my freshman heritage class and Dr. Stephen Black in my senior seminar psychology course, provided handwritten, encouraging feedback to assigned papers. Mary Louise Jones in my freshman liberal studies class introduced me to the Milgram experiment and to the life of Oscar Romero. The Milgram experiment illustrates the power of authority and how it can be wielded unjustly, as well as to the detrimental impact of succumbing to such authority without question. Romero's dedication to justice, despite significant backlash of authority, demonstrates the importance of using power and privilege for the betterment of society and for the goodness of the marginalized. Through these and other lessons at Millsaps, I grew increasingly convicted of the importance of social and indeed Christian responsibility. Dr. Darby Ray helped me understand in her Meaning of Work class that to pursue vocation, to seek a deeper meaning in work beyond a paycheck, is indeed a privilege. Survival of the moment supersedes any analysis of the future when basic needs are not guaranteed. Millsaps served as a formative and transformative part of my journey in melding my interest in psychology, call to humanism and in medicine, and nudge to meaningful action addressing poverty and health disparities. During 2 of my college years, I participated in a Delta delivery trip led by Reverend Don Fortenberry. One of Don's loving legacies to the college is his consistency of compassion. During these trips, we visited parts of the Mississippi Delta and learned about its culture, as well as witnessed firsthand disparities of the region. I returned to the Delta after my pediatrics residency to serve the children of Clarksdale and the surrounding communities. During that time, I attended a continuing medical education conference in Jackson and learned something new. Those seeds of learning have grown into a passion and shaped the work I do today. I would like to share with you some nuggets this evening that may indeed be life-changing, or at least thought-provoking. In a seminal study in the 1990s, through a partnership of the CDC and Kaiser Permanente, adverse childhood experiences, now commonly referred to as ACEs, were illuminated. In this original study, ACEs were defined as abuse, physical, emotional, or sexual, neglect, physical or emotional, and 5 areas of family discord: divorce or separation of parents, incarceration of a household member, mental illness within the home, domestic violence, particularly toward the mother, or substance abuse of a household member. The more ACEs a child experienced, the more likely that child was to endure poor health outcomes throughout life. Some of this may be intuitive. A traumatic childhood may lead to unhealthy coping mechanisms such as overindulgence in food or excessive alcohol intake that then could lead to health complications. However, even with no maladaptive behaviors, people who have suffered significant childhood adversity are more likely to experience poor health outcomes due to stress and stress's effects on the body and brain. We now know that community environments can be just as detrimental to a child's developing brain. Poverty, food insecurity, housing instability, and racism are all deleterious to children's health. Without buffering, childhood adversity, whether in the home or in the community, can result in a toxic stress response. The stress hormones of cortisol and epinephrine that are responsible for the fight, flight, or freeze response can work in overdrive, such that the body's intended stress response does not return to a baseline, and the alarm bells are signaling incessantly. Additionally, a toxic stress response can induce architectural changes in a child's developing brain. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for multitasking and impulse control, shrinks. The amygdala, or emotional center of the brain, enlarges. And the hippocampus, important for memory and learning, is impaired. Thus, children who are suffering from toxic stress, whose behaviors are aligned with their brain changes, may unfortunately be labeled as bad or problems because their behaviors are not understood by observers. If behaviors are not understood, the very responses meant to change behaviors through disciplinary action may instead reinforce trauma and defense mechanisms that then decrease the chances for children to connect, engage, and learn. A key paradigm shift in light of ACEs and a core principle of trauma-informed care is a simple change of question. Instead of asking, what is wrong with that child, we ask, what happened to that child? Trauma-informed care allows observers to have greater insight into the underpinnings of behavior and can equip parents and educators with calming techniques to help de-escalate an intense outcry. Once children learn these same techniques and find supportive, stable adults who genuinely love and care for them, their behaviors will change and they will be able to learn more and thrive more inside and outside of the classroom. The greatest buffer against toxic stress is a stable, caring adult in a child's life. Certainly, educators, coaches, counselors, and mentors all play a role in providing that love and support to children. Any adult can have that positive influence in a child's life. Schools that implement trauma-informed principles are likely to see success in more engaged learners and fewer disciplinary suspensions. The antidote to toxic stress is resilience. Resilience, thankfully, is not innate, and thus all people can develop resilience and increase resilience over time. Skills can be learned, such as mindfulness. Habits can be developed, such as eating more fruits and vegetables and engaging in regular physical activity, as well as getting sufficient sleep at night. For those who have suffered trauma and adversity, therapy is important. Engagement with a supportive community and faith-based rituals can bolster resilience as well. Interestingly, a similar toxic stress response can occur to professionals who do not work in supportive environments. If the alternate affiliative stress response that looks for helpers is not viable due to lack of support in people and systems in the work environment, the fight, flight, or freeze stress response takes precedence, and the result can be burnout. In December 2019, I developed a dream list for my professional goals. The GIST was a pediatric trauma-informed care clinic attached to a community center with general and specific ways to build resilience. On Martin Luther King Jr. Day of January 2020, I received a voicemail that led to a phone conversation that landed me in a dream job as a pediatrician at the Smoketown Family Wellness Center in Louisville, Kentucky, a startup, independent, nonprofit pediatric clinic with a small-scale community center component. Smoketown is Louisville's oldest African-American community. As with many cities in America, Louisville has huge discrepancies in average life expectancies noted across zip codes, up to a staggering 12 to 15 years, depending upon the report studied. Smoketown is near the bottom of the list of life expectancies, but rich in cultural legacy. At Smoketown Family Wellness Center, we want to address chronic health conditions that may lead to earlier deaths by prevention and early intervention during childhood. We want to provide optimal evidence-based pediatric medical care with support services for the entire family. Therefore, we have indoor growing columns and a collaboration with New Roots to provide fresh produce to families. We have a partnership with Dare to Care Food Bank to provide dry food goods for families who struggle with food insecurity. We seek to normalize behavior and emotional health needs. We offer a variety of community programming. We had a Saturday Zoom event for our parent advisory group so folks could learn about first-time home ownership and budgeting. We've started a youth empowerment club that has participated in a variety of activities, including yoga, gardening, and making stress balls. We have a non-traditional instruction learning lab for students to access the internet in our space to work on their school assignments, since our county's public schools are not yet in person due to the pandemic. The design of our clinic is such to allow physicians to spend more time with patients and families, to build trusting relationships, and to listen, to meet the needs of families that may go unmet through a hurried encounter in a setting of a medical practice with a push for productivity. Although working at Smoketown Family Wellness Center is aligned with my big dreams, I have certainly not landed in utopia. We are in a prolonged startup phase with many obstacles. We need to grow significantly in terms of our patient volume, and we have some critical staffing gaps that present challenges. However, I am grateful to be pursuing this dream alongside a supportive, visionary pediatrician who founded the center, Dr. Charlotte Stites. We hope to foster resilience among our patients, as well as in the Smoketown community and Louisville metro region. Millsaps College helped prepare me to pursue my dreams. Millsaps shapes students to understand key tenets of leadership to include kindness and generosity. I am grateful for Millsaps and its enduring legacy of engaging truth with compassion. Millsaps leadership, students, faculty, and staff have demonstrated perseverance and resilience in these pandemic days, as well as through other challenging seasons, including recent wintry weather woes. The ripple effects of goodness of a Millsaps education are seen throughout Mississippi, the nation, and the world. I am grateful for the many lessons I learned as a Millsaps student and the seeds sown that are even yet to bear fruit in my work today. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia, Lacy, and Colby, for your inspiring remarks. And thank you all for joining us tonight. We certainly look forward to seeing you all in person next year for Founders Day. And as we close, please join the Millsaps singers in singing the alma mater.